This video looks so good, chat. I hate my phone, so I got rid of it. And I try to always cut back a little bit if I can, but it's really hard when I have like nothing to do and I'm off stream. I'm like, well, I mean, what else am I gonna fucking do, right? I know that this is a big issue for a lot of people. I was talking to SK about it one time and how she was telling me like she stopped using her phone for like a week and like all of her ADHD symptoms just disappeared and became like actually able to get stuff done. And I wonder how much of that is like actually true versus like just the way you think. So you know what? Let's watch it. I hate my phone, so I got rid of it. It's got 3.4 million views in 2 weeks. It's a crazy video. All right, let's watch it.
I was scrolling through Twitter, an app that a few weeks ago, I was scrolling through Twitter, an app that I hate, wasting my time, when I came across this post. FaZe Sway's GF, Alina Rose, gifted one of the guys her used panties during the Bop House 5v1 stream with Vex Bolts. Now,
can I just say, Twitter. Twitter has become the biggest cesspool of every verified big meme account just reposting the same 400 tweets, trying to farm them for 16 cents. And you know what? For most Westerners and Americans specifically, the 16 cents is really not that valuable, right? Like you make $10 a month off of your fucking Twitter subscription, whatever, right? But in a lot of other countries around the world, it's actually a good chunk of change. $200 USD for tweeting every damn day for a month, not really that worth. But in a lot of other countries, that's actually a lot of money. And so you've actually seen a big increase in the amount of tweet interaction farmer accounts globally, because I'm trying to think of a country off the top of my head, but maybe like the Philippines. Like how much is a US dollar worth in the Philippines, right? Or in Thailand or something like that, right? Like it's probably worth a lot more than, you know, obviously $200, $300, $400, $500 would go in the US or in a lot of Western countries, right? And so the platform is just flooded with porn bots. It's flooded with these accounts that like that's meant to rage bait you, right? Like it has 1 million impressions and 600 people have watched it. Or sorry, 600 people have liked it. 700 people not even. There's probably in 100 comments, right? Like this, the ratio of this is crazy, and it's literally designed to get you to like get angry at it and to comment and to farm you for more money. And so it's just endless bots and endless clip farmer accounts that are just trying to farm drama and trying to farm like whatever. And it's made the entire platform borderline unusable. And I hate that I'm a content creator and a streamer and I have to use the damn platform.
Used panties during the
otherwise I would just have deleted it by now.
One stream with Vex Bolts. Now, I only recognize, I think, one word from that sentence, and it's the word panties, and it made me realize something. I hate my phone. I am constantly using my phone to see things that I don't want to see. Over the last few years, it has become increasingly unfun to use this thing. So why do I keep using it? Apps and social media have gotten much better at drawing me in, but lately I'll break out of my screen time feeling like nothing of value happened. I feel like a lab rat.
I will say the only thing I really enjoy about the evolution of social media is I don't watch TV ever. TV fucking sucks. I have Crunchyroll, I got Netflix, I got Hulu, High Dive, got a couple other things, right? And then if I want news and stuff, TikTok. I get like way more accurate, way more useful information on like TikTok than I do on any other platform or any TV or any news or anything like that will then point me in the direction to go find my own info. Let's say like early tariff stuff, right? Most people didn't know what a fucking tariff was when it first started being talked about like 2 years ago or a year ago when it was like first, you know, going on. And so people were just like sprouting what it was on social media. And then I was like, that doesn't sound right. So you go look into it yourself. That's what I really value of the social media, is it points you in the right direction of topical subjects. But that's where it ends.
Incentivized by cheese. But instead of delicious cheese, I'm being fed dorky ass clips of Elon Musk. It's embarrassing. Not embarrassed? Next time you get sucked into your phone, tell the next person you see everything you were up to for a full hour of screen time. Okay, so my friend sent me this Instagram reel.
I could not tell you.
Screenshot of a tweet about Drake playing Fortnite with Ninja.
I could tell you, you know what? Let me try to recap the last hour before I went to bed last night. Pokemon Pocket and a couple other channels that are like they open Pokemon card packs. There's one guy that like keeps a running total if he's in the positive or in the green or in the red. There's the guy who can't pull the Latios in team ups. There's the main person who I always see is like Pocket, who's like their Pokemon card channel openings. Couple news channels, whether it's making fun of and really stupid people in government or actual just like super unbiased, like this is just the facts. Paul Revere last night riding through Boston for the 250th anniversary of Paul Revere. Videos of people giving Paul Revere encouraging statements like, go get him, son. Dylan Page, yeah, true. The guy who refuses to fall off, I forget his name though. What else? Some car stuff, some anime news, some Marvel Rival stuff. Like I got some Rival stuff about like DPS. I got some Rival stuff about the matchmaking. I got Rival stuff about the people mad about stacking. I got some Rival stuff about mad at the new like the point system. Like people are like, oh, where's the supports? Well, you guys bullied them all out. No, that's not what happened. But always stuff like that. Oh, food stuff. Oh, steel pan guy. I got this one steel pan guy. Like he always fucking cooks everything in a steel pan, and they always meme him for like Fawn, but he just like leans into it. It's funny as shit. And then that's all I got. There's probably way more though, but that's all I could remember. You know.
In 2018. And then I just sort of kept scrolling through reels for an hour, but I don't remember any of them. Like a lot of people my age, my smartphone has attached itself to nearly every aspect of my daily life. And it's really starting to make me feel like it's having a negative effect on me. But most people like me that daydream about getting rid of their phone just can't. Their job requires it. They have kids. They have to keep up with their Balatro addiction. But I don't have a real job. I don't have kids. I deleted Balatro because I played it on the toilet too much. And then it hit me. I could be a lab rat, but in an experiment about getting rid of my phone. In 2025, what does it look like for someone in their late 20s living in a major city to completely get rid of their cell phone? Well, I'm going to find that out because
I need this thing though for so many things, either like two-factor authentications or whatever the fuck. So putting it in here sounds like a disaster. I love the idea. What if my mom calls? What if I need to access an account? What if on the fly, like I get signed out of my Twitch account, I need to sign back in midstream. I can't go get it out of the safe. You know what I mean? Like the thought of this one action gives me so much anxiety, and it shouldn't.
Over the next month, I will be locking my phone in this safe, and I will not be opening it. So, without further ado, let's find out together. I actually didn't do any prep for what I'm going to replace my phone with. Okay, actually, we need to do this tomorrow, so.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now it's beeping.
I do have an uncle that's like this, by the way. He's never gotten a smartphone. He only has like a burner type phone, and he's unreachable. It's dead 90% of the time. Guy is an enigma. Same person. Have you heard me tell stories before? Same person who he was my dad's brother. So on my grandma's side, my grandma was I was one time at her house, and one day she just started getting mad at him, just started bitching at him. He was there, and he just goes this, and he walked out the door and walked into the woods and was gone for like 3 days. Just gone, just left. No phone, no wallet, nothing. He made it work. He was fine. Couldn't tell you how he does it. Just does it.
Now, obviously, a phone these days is a lot more than just a phone. But everyone in this day and age
haven't seen him in like 3 years.
Many people who ditch their smartphone these days go with an old flip phone, now referred to as a dumb phone. But I got a flip phone to keep in contact with my parents when I was out riding bikes at 12 years old. So for the majority of my life, I've had a device in my pocket that makes me reachable at all times. I want to experience what life was like before the cell phone. So I went even older and began looking into getting a landline. Luckily, this was pretty simple. Some major phone companies, for some reason, still offer a landline service. But what landline should I choose? use. There were so many decades and styles to choose from. I could go...
You know, and one thing you probably notice is all the buttons on these are very big because the only people who still get these are old people and they can't see.
wireless. I could go with an old rotary. I could keep it to the classics like Sleeping Goofy, M&M's Hanging Out, or Pooh. After weighing all of my options, I finally decided on a mix of everything. A corded landline that still had an answering machine and caller ID. Oh, a landline with an answering machine is not old school enough for you? That's too much new tech? Well, my ass got a Rolodex to pair with it. Now, if you're...
Oh my fucking god, dude. Jack, type 1 if you know what this thing is. Type 2 if you've never seen one of these in real life ever. Sorry, type 1 if you've seen one of these in real life. Type 2 if you've never seen one of these in real life. It horrifies me, the amount of 2s that I saw. YouTube's mostly 1s. Hey, W.
For somebody whose knees still don't hurt, a Rolodex is basically your contact app, but on this fun little spinny wheel. So I spent an hour of my day just sitting down and copying my contacts from my iPhone onto different Rolodex cards to make sure that I had the number of everyone I needed to call over the next month. But I don't want to just...
And then, like, if it's, you know, if your grandparents ever had this, is like one of them's like dentist. That'll be the dentist name and then a number. Or like, you know, Bob the neighbor.
Call everyone. I want everyone to call me. I want to be popular. Whoa. So I posted my landline number on my close friend's Instagram story to inform people in my life that I wouldn't have my phone. But not everyone in my life is on my close friend's Instagram. Some don't have Instagram at all, and some are finding out just now that they're not on my close friends list.
That's tough.
So I began texting people in my life the information as well. Other than a telephone, I use my phone as a tool for many aspects of my life. I began replacing as much as I could think of with alternatives. I filled out a physical calendar. I got notebooks and pens to replace my notepad app. Grabbed a film camera to take photos with.
Oh my fucking god.
So I
He's going all out.
An old-fashioned alarm clock.
I had this exact alarm clock. Alarm clock when I was a kid. This is the exact one. Same color, same brand, same style. It's the exact one. It makes the same noise. I never used this past the age of like 11.
Man, that's gonna piss me off. Why didn't I get a digital alarm clock? I'm getting rid of my phone, not becoming Ebenezer Scrooge. Also, just in case of any major text that I may miss, I hooked up my iMessage to an old laptop Chrissy had, but being able to check text all the time felt like cheating. So I bought this chess clock and decided I would only be able to clock in 5 total minutes checking text the entire month. Wait, this thing takes C batteries? Okay, I'm not gonna use the laptop until I can get some C batteries then. There was so much to replace, but there's one I chose not to. I use my Apple Watch daily for fitness statistics. But honestly, I don't really need it to exercise. I just have to find the willpower to hit my goals without closing these colorful rings. When I got the watch, it felt like a super useful upgrade to my life, but I quickly realized that my phone was now on my wrist at all times. Sometimes even sending ads for Yelp or Postmates to my own arm. So I don't know how much I'll miss this thing. Except for Snoopy. I will miss you, Snoopy. I'm sorry I'm putting you in a box. Lastly, I replaced the iPhone's video camera with a Sony camcorder. Looking at all the items that would replace my phone sprawled out on the floor, I decided I was prepared enough to begin.
And just like that, Apple thinks you died.
It was mid-afternoon by the time I started, so I decided to check if I had any calls or messages on my landline. I had posted and sent the number to almost everyone I know, so I was sure there was a ton of missed calls and voicemails to listen to.
Wednesday, 1:04 p.m.
Hi, Eddie. It's Mom. I'm just calling to see if your phone works. You don't have to call me back. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Aww.
End of messages.
You gotta
Within
clear
a
it
few
out,
minutes,
too.
I came across the first minor hurdle of not having a smartphone on me. After checking my email on my computer, I saw that there was a package down in my mailroom. Now, usually, to unlock the mailroom lockers, I open an email on my phone and scan a barcode. But luckily, they also provide a numeric code to put into a keypad.
You gotta write it
so
down.
I grabbed a notepad.
Oh my
and I
God.
wrote the code down. We're not talking about the notepad app here. I mean, I put a pen to paper, like a soldier in World War II, sending a letter home to his girlfriend who has now taken his spot on a Major League Baseball team. Or I think that's what it was like. Honestly, the only war movie I've seen is A League of Their Own. Hello, Eddie from the future here. This is absolutely the last thing that I'm editing, and I have not seen this footage until now. So on the first day, I walked out of the apartment, Chrissy changed the code to the safe, wrote it down, left for her apartment, and I asked her to hide it in a place I'd never check, and apparently she put it in a case of Black Ops 2, but under a disc of Jingle All the Way 2. I don't even know where she got this movie. I don't even know why she has
That's
Black
kind of
Ops.
based,
For over
actually.
a decade, my iPhone has been an extension of my body, an extra limb that connects me to the world of the internet. So the first few hours with that limb severed had me feeling its phantom in my pocket. I decided to start keeping a tally in a notepad every time I felt compelled to reach for
Everyone does this. You always like reach for your phone. Like if you're at you're out somewhere, like I do it all the time. It's so bad, but like I'm like about to walk past somebody in the parking lot, you know, like if like they're walking towards me and I'm walking towards them, right when we're getting to the point where it's about to be awkward eye contact, get past them.
or check it. And within those first few hours, I realized something. I was bored. Truly bored. It was rainy in LA. I had finished working for the day and didn't have everything ever made and everyone I've ever known at my disposal to fill the void. It hit me that the other times where my phone has died or moments where I've intentionally put it away, my phone has not allowed me a true sense of boredom for the majority of my adult life. And the rest of the first day,
Wait, was I covering that? Did you guys get to see it? Did you guys see this?
majority of my adult life.
Yeah,
and
just-
the rest of the first
okay, you
day
can see it.
was really nice. I enjoyed the silence. We ended the night watching the movie Flow, which I absolutely loved, highly recommend. And while I never check my phone during a movie, not getting a vibration or needing to put it on Do Not Disturb felt great. And since I can use my computer, I decided to still log it on Letterboxd. But when I walked away from it for bed, that was it. No more internet for the night.
Oh God, having to get up and go get it. Oh Jesus. Oh, the horror. Oh my God, make it stop. Please, please make it stop. Grab the thing. Grab the fucking thing in the middle
The next
when
day
you turn
was
it off.
an adjustment getting used to the silence, but I was already seeing benefits. Turns out it's easier to get up out of bed and go to the grocery store when you don't waste your first 30 minutes scrolling through Twitter. Or if you're experiencing one of your lowest lows, Reddit. Ooh, shivers down my spine just thinking about it.
Ugh.
Oh, by the way, last night Chrissy and I had pasta, sausage, and Trader Joe's cheesy creamy greens and veggies. So if anyone wants these leftovers, they are 1
That
month
looks
old at
wild.
the time of posting, and I will not give you my address. So let me know if you're interested. I also got the C batteries for the chest clock, so now I have a working chest clock and 8 C batteries that will sit in my drawer forever. Later that week, a
Yep,
few
until
friends
they
and I
decay.
had planned to see Mickey 17. Last week, I offered to organize getting the tickets myself, forgetting that my phone would be locked in a box. Normally, as an AMC A-list member, I reserve the ticket on the app, show up, present my QR code to the greeter to be scanned, and suddenly I'm in. Now, obviously,
Oh,
I know that a
no.
cell phone is not the only way you can get into a movie theater. I worked at an AMC when I was 19. If you were at the AMC streets of Woodfield in 2016,
I feel like this is like one of those moments that I would just realize that like you didn't have a phone, you definitely need a printer. Chat, do you have a printer at home? Type 1 if you have a printer at home. Type 2 if you don't have a printer at home. I hate to admit to you, but I don't have a printer. I think I actually do have one in a box somewhere. I don't think I have one, but my apartment complex has an office. So I go there to print stuff off. The once a year I need to do that.
there's a solid chance your ticket stub was ripped by me. But I wasn't sure what the process was anymore. Part of my job used to
Yeah, but for why and what do you need it for? Well, I was thinking about right here. They bought the tickets online. They have to print the tickets out with the QR codes on them to take it to the movie theater. Because if they're buying the tickets online and you don't have a phone to scan for a QR code, you'd have to print them out.
to be selling tickets, but due to online and mobile sales, that job seems to have been phased out after quarantine. So I went to the AMC website, saved my ticket QR code, and
They have the info? Yeah, but okay, so you don't have a phone. You go to the movie theater with nothing in your hands. How do you tell them that you bought the ticket?
sent an email of it to Staples so I could print it with a code at one of their printers. I then wrote down the Staples code along with my ticket confirmation as a backup. Is this overkill? Probably, but if for some reason I couldn't prove my—
Your card details are at my movie theater? What do you mean your card details? Like your AMC card? Do you have the card in your pocket? Or is it just attached to your account?
purchase, I'd be ruining the whole night for my friends. So I headed over to Staples, and after inputting the code from my notepad—
Debit card? Let's say that's true, right? How many times do you think the person at the thing has actually done that? Where you walk up and you're like, hey, I bought tickets, but I don't have the tickets. Like, can you look up my debit card? Is that like something that actually happens that often? Just curious. I mean, I haven't worked at a movie theater, and my friends who worked at movie theaters would have been in the early 2010s. So you can scan the card you bought the movies with. Really? No fucking shit.
Look at him, my beautiful boy, my pride and joy. Be honest, if your job was scanning QR codes, would you trust one sitting on a blank page like this? During our drinks before, I was beaming with excitement to use my QR. Look at how proud I am of it. But I had no idea what was waiting for me in the theater. Now, fortunately for me, and unfortunately for labor everywhere—
These guys have no idea what they're talking about. You can't just scan your debit card and find your tickets. It doesn't work like that. I work currently in a movie theater. We get it like once a month. So is it a pain in the ass to do then? Because if it's a pain in the ass to do then like, yeah, then like, cool, it's possible, but—
Ticket sales employees have been replaced by kiosks. So I
we're gonna find out.
Scan my QR
Actually, no, we're not.
instead of the greeter because I got nervous.
Because you got a paper.
Disaster 1. I froze the machine.
Broke it?
Uh-oh.
I clicked the keypad and I think I broke it, so I think I'll have to— Luckily, there was an open machine next to me, so I made a quick recovery only for Disaster 2. My QR code was printed so inconveniently that it wouldn't fit in the scanner. I desperately folded the paper as my friends waited on me for their tickets. And it just wouldn't scan.
Uh-oh.
Yeah? Hello? Just cut to home. Yeah, we missed the movie.
Try the other one again. Try the other one again.
My baby boy was a disappointment. But you could just use the credit card you bought the tickets with. So I didn't need to do any of this. Didn't need a phone and could have just shown up with my credit card.
There it is. We got to see it in real time. There it is.
Okay.
Life imitates art.
So there are minor inconveniences like writing things
It
down
works!
or bringing my credit card. But I wanted to know what it was like to traverse a city without my phone. But a quick
Cinema.
word from the sponsor of this video. I'm stuck in a fly trap. I fell for the damn light bulb again. I want to thank SoFi for sponsoring the next portion of—
We're gonna skip ahead here. We got W sponsor, but we're gonna keep moving.
Whatever you want. Sign up for SoFi, chance to win, and for every friend you refer, you
Look at that.
earn an additional entry.
They have the goddamn yellow bar at the bottom to keep you fucking clicking off.
I need to get unstuck first. Don't help me. I need to do this myself.
I remember that appeared in a Mr. Beast video and people went crazy over it.
This morning I woke up to a massive dropping of bird shit on my bathroom window, which is gross. But hey, without the phone, it's something new to look at while I'm on the toilet, I guess. It's no secret why someone in this day and age may begin to resent their phone. But one of my main motivators to give this a try may surprise you. A few months ago, Chrissy and I binged through all of Sex and the City. We watched through every season, movie, and even the new series on HBO. I mean HBO Max. Max. Fuck, sorry. Now, other than having a blast with the girls and being a big hater to my core, there was one aspect of the show that I just couldn't shake.
Well, laugh. It's a joke.
No, not that. Sorry.
Get it while it's hot.
Not that either. Man, I gotta text my editor.
What
But
is
I don't have
happening?
a cell phone, and my editor's me, so he doesn't have a cell phone either. It's gonna be tough. The show starts with Carrie in her early 30s. But even though I'm a young 28, not even fucking close to 30, the era of life that Carrie, Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte are in is pretty similar to mine. The one glaring difference, other than being in LA instead of New York, is their lifestyles without smartphones and social media impacting it. Of course, this isn't a staple of the show, but the times the show belonged to. The new series has to adapt to our new world just like we do. Carrie is a podcaster. She tweets. Everyone uses their smartphones. But even though I was always aware that times had changed, it didn't feel so drastic until I watched the original show. No dating apps, no creating a second version of yourself online for the world to perceive. On a night in, Carrie writes, Miranda watches TV, Charlotte reads either the Old Testament or the New Testament, depending on what season you watch, and Samantha gets laid. They don't pull out a little computer that shows them what everyone they've ever met is up to at that exact moment. Charlotte.
Chad, you want today's version? So she is talking to her and her. She's not really involved in the conversation. So because she's not really involved in the conversation while she's taking a bite, the phone is in her left hand. She's checking something real quick.
Pull out a little computer that shows them what everyone they've ever met is up to at that exact moment. Charlotte doesn't do the dishes with her AirPods in, catching up on the Twitter drama between the richest man in the world and Hassan Piker. Samantha doesn't watch the Costco guys on Fortnite Friday.
I mean, if it's something that we really
Are we gonna
like
get
a lot,
slammed for
that's
copyright
five
from
big
Sex and the
phones.
City? Surely this
Something
video
we're
doesn't
not
get
that crazy
copyright
about
striked.
to go down to one and then anywhere in between.
What?
Of course.
And they also call each other for plans. They don't use a GPS. They agree on a time to meet somewhere, and then they just hope that it all works out. And that's what struck me most of all. It was the intentionality in making plans and navigating a city. If you're older watching
Holy
this, feel
shit.
free to roll your eyes, because this was what the world was like until very recently. But because I'm such a young, fresh 28-year-old, I have never in my life made adult plans without the convenience of a smartphone. If I want to drive or Uber somewhere, I don't really need to know where to go because the GPS will handle it. If I want to take public.
I've thought about this before, and I've only ever had it happen once in my life. There's a certain part of the Cape, which is a part of Massachusetts, where there is a bar. The bar is called the Beachcomber. It's very famous. It sits on a sand dune on the ocean. It also sits in a dead spot where phones do not work. You cannot use your phone at this bar. It does not work, which is f***ing cool because no one's on their phone because it doesn't work. But if you Uber there, you can't Uber home because you can't call an Uber. You have to take a local taxi. And it is a fucking pain in the motherfucking dick to get home from this place. It is such a pain in the fucking ass. You have to have somebody who's at home know what time you're leaving so they can call a taxi for you at this place so you can get picked up and go home. Or you have to walk up this massive ass hill out to the road and then walk down the road, which there's no lights. It's trees. It's by itself. There's no houses. There's nothing there. It's just woods/beach until you eventually get a signal. And then you call the local taxi because Uber, you're in the middle of fucking nowhere in comparison, or schedule an Uber for after. You could, but you have no way of knowing what car is picking you up. Because Uber sends you when your car gets scheduled with Uber, it will tell you 10 or 15 minutes before it shows up who's picking you up and what the license plate is. So you actually don't know what car you're looking for. And if it's going to show up at the correct time, right? Like if it shows up early or shows up late, you're going to have to go up to random cars and be like, "Excuse me, are you here to pick up so-and-so?" You know what I mean? So you have there's zero signal, zero. And it was the biggest pain in the ass. And imagine that was life. That's crazy.
In transit, my phone will give me live details on what to do. If I'm running late, I can text and update the person. I have Google at my fingertips to answer any question that I could ever think of. So what do I actually do when I make plans? I might as well get to a dinner and have the waiter cut my spaghetti for me. There was just something about the way that the girls went through life that just felt more grown up to me. I couldn't help but wonder, has my phone kept me from becoming a fully capable adult? Ready for my Carrie night out, I needed to call one of the girls. Looking to have fun cocktails and a yap sesh, I knew just who to call. My friend Jordan. I planned on taking the bus because even though I could Uber there from my desktop, I'd need to cheat and ask Jordan to call my Uber home on the way back. But to take the bus, my two options were change, as in coins, which I do not have because I'm not an 1800s prospector ordering a whiskey at a saloon, or the public transit app on my...
So fun fact, when I was a kid / teenager, I had a wallet that had a little coin section, and I would keep coins in there because I took the bus.
phone. Oh, my phone! Shit! I don't know if you guys know this, but I locked my phone away. After a quick search, I saw that you can get a physical tap card in LA at most pharmacies and grocery stores. So I walked over to CVS and couldn't find a tap card anywhere. I asked the manager if they sold tap cards, and he said, "We should, but I'm not sure that we do." After confirming that they didn't, he was so helpful and told me you could get them at the train station. I thanked him and said I needed it for the bus. And he goes, "Oh, you could just get the app on your phone." My dumb ass goes, "Right, thank you. I'm doing this thing where I don't have my phone, but thank you." What the fuck was that supposed to mean to him? Anyway, I went over to Ralph's and yet again, no card. Until I asked an employee and she walked me over to their work desk, busted out a dusty fanny pack from a bottom drawer and got me a card. The whole process seemed like there hadn't been a physical tap card purchase in years. This whole ordeal gave me just enough time to get ready and call Jordan to let him know what time to meet. Awesome. All right, well then, hopefully nothing goes wrong. If it gets to be like, too late, just give up on me, I'll go home. Okay, that's true. You're the perfect person for me to f this up with. All right, I'll see you there. Next, I headed over to my computer, went to Google Maps, clicked on the transit direction to get to the bar, and wrote down the specific bus routes I'd need to get there. My bus was leaving very soon, so I had to rush out the door. Now, depending on where you are, who you are...
Wait a minute. How are you going to get home?
What age you are, I am not recommending that you also travel alone without your phone at night. Smartphones have offered a lot of safety to people who are by themselves, so just know that I wanted to do this, and unfortunately, it's a bit safer for me than for some of you. Look, it's no surprise from my personality, my writing, and my general vibe that I am an overthinker. So on my way to the bus, anxious thoughts were flying by. What if I miss my stop? What if the bus doesn't come on time? What if I get lost and leave Jordan
I feel all
waiting?
this.
What if the bus explodes? And normally, I can quell these thoughts by getting confirmation on my phone. But shockingly, without the option to confirm, I was forced to face these thoughts head on. And you know what? It was super easy to ride the bus without my phone. They say the goddamn street names out loud. Why was I worried? Thanks. Have a good one.
Because you gotta know all the street names. You don't know the street names normally. Chat, you ever talk to an old person? You ever talk to a boomer and they're like, "How'd you get here, son?" And you're like, "Oh, I took the highway." "Oh, you took 93 south over to exit 24 and then hopped back on to Route 87 and took a left on Spring Street?" And you're just like, you don't know if you did that or not because you just went where the GPS told you to go.
I got off the first bus, crossed the street to the next stop, and waited for the second. No checking Twitter, just raw dog, no headphones at the bus stop. Hopping on the next, I rode the bus toward drinks.
Music is loud. I'll turn it down a little bit.
At one point,
my
I wanted
eardrums.
to make sure I was headed in the right direction, so I asked a stranger, and he was super nice and helpful. And before he got off the bus, he nodded and fist bumped me. Not quite as good as nervously Googling and having Gemini tell me the wrong answer, but I'll take it. And as I became a tiny...
God, this whole thing is so ass. Like, one day, somebody really needs to break down how ass this is. Like, do you know how ass this truly is? It's so much more ass than you think, right? Like, it's always wrong, but it's even worse than this, right? You know, the whole point of like the internet, like being able to put stuff on the internet, was you'd have a person whose job it is to write information and then put it on the internet. How do you make money off of that? Ads, right? So like, let's say you wanted to look up who the first president was, and you click on a website that tells you who the first president is. You know what normally happens? A little ad pops up at the bottom, a little boop. Says like, "Oh, buy Mucinex." Okay, you don't think anything of it and you just move on. What this does is skips you from ever clicking on it. And so the person who actually put the information on the internet gets fucked. And so they never have to click on their actual link. They just get the information ahead of time. And so this encourages people or encourages people who work with websites or work on putting stuff on the internet to not do that anymore, because the AI will just yoink it. And so you don't get that transaction of person clicked on website shows small ad pays website gets paid for putting stuff up on the internet and maintaining that information, and then the user gets the information. Google is like low-key shot themselves in the foot by doing this, because over time, like over the next 10, 20 years, if this trend continues, there's no reason to ever be a person who creates and puts that info onto the internet, because you'll never make money off of it. And that was the whole point of doing it. We're like putting that stuff out there and to keep those archives and put those records and to write articles and to write information out there. And so no one will do it. And so the AI won't have anything to pull from. And so it will get worse and it will get worse and it will get worse until it just keeps putting itself into a circle.
Gemini tell me the wrong fucking answer, but I'll take it. And as I became a tiny little speck in the rear view of the Echo Park Pico Union line, I turned to walk toward drinks. I finally made it there, and lo and behold, agreeing to meet at a place without 5 text updates still works just fine. Jordan and I had a great time, yapping our hearts out. 2 young philosophers in a heated debate, going toe-to-toe in the marketplace of ideas. I, of course, was on the right side of whatever we talked about, and Jordan was in the wrong. But his British accent kept giving his words an authority that made me insecure and angry. Also, we did need to use Jordan's phone to get my bus route back, because I did forget to look it up. Is someone telling me a bus route with their phone cheating? I didn't use my phone, but I sort of used someone else's? I don't know. A few hours and 1 too many cocktails later, Jordan walked me to my bus stop like a true gentleman.
Fine.
It came earlier than expected, and without my knowledge, Jordan captured my dorky ass scurrying to the door. On the ride home, it was really starting to hit me just how normal most aspects of my life felt without a phone. Sure, it was a bit inconvenient, sometimes a little bit dangerous. But is the harm that screen time and algorithms inflict on my brain really worth the convenience it brings? Well, I'll be honest, I've had 1 too many cocktails to find an answer to that. I also was on Metro TV. You guys ever watch Metro TV? It's a show about you taking the bus. You see me there? Look closer. There I am. Every time I've mentioned...
Wait, by the way, he said he doesn't have his phone, right? So he's recording all of this on that massive camcorder that he showed at the beginning. So he's got a massive, like 8-inch long camcorder that he put in his pocket to take to the bar. I just want to put that out there. All of the footage on the way there and back, he's walking down the street with this big ass camcorder. Probably looked like an actual psycho to most people. Like, oh, that guy's shooting a movie. You know, like, oh man.
TV, it's a show about you taking the bus. You see me there? Look closer. There I am.
But 8 inches is small. Yeah, shut the up.
Every time I've mentioned to a friend that I was getting rid of my phone, one of the first things they'd say would be, oh, are you gonna start reading? First, yeah. Second, I was reading. Okay, not books, maybe. Does it count as reading if I read a tweet from Discussing Film that told me young Sheldon is returning to do a sweepstakes competition for the live-action Minecraft movie?
Mazes, puzzles, panic attacks, you're in charge. Whooping monster butt, that's my purview.
Plus $500 daily cash prizes.
Whoa, oh my.
Watch Young Sheldon weeknights for the word of the day. Text it to 55225 or dig into youngsheldon.com.
This is still a thing? There's still text in things?
No biggie.
I like never see those anywhere anymore.
April 4th.
I used to read quite a bit. But as my phone addiction has developed, most of the time when I could pick up a book, light a candle, and relax...
Yeah, but why pick up book when you can watch book be read to you and also pictures?
In a chair,
AKA
I
watch
instead
something.
choose to burn disturbing world news into my retinas while I sit hunched over my table, or hunched over on my toilet, or hunched over on a bench. But after days of phone detox, I wanted to see how well my attention span fared toward uninterrupted reading. About a year ago, I was at a bookstore with my friend Ian when he mentioned he had recently read the novel Flowers for Algernon.
Wait, are those Wii nunchucks? They're Wii. Oh my god, how do you have so many Wii controllers?
I bought it that day, planning to read it so we could discuss and have a connection over it. And then, it sat collecting dust next to my Wii U for 11 months. Didn't get all the dust, maybe one more blow. Damn, that shit is baked on there. So I lit a candle, got cozy, and began reading. And you know what? It was way easier to focus. I got sucked into the book, and before I broke any concentration, I'd read over 100 pages. Now, I had plans that night, so I needed to rush out of the house, but I didn't have a damn bookmark.
Just flip it upside down and put it on the floor.
Oh. Perfect. Finally, a use for my QR. Later that night, I came back and read another 100 pages. Now, of course, people read a lot with their phones all the time. But for me, that vibration of a text or social media notification or an ad from Uber Eats or Postmates feels like somebody knocking at my window, trying to distract me and get me to stop reading. Over the next 10 days...
Wait, was he saying that he heard that? Like he could hear it in the safe, or...?
People read a lot with their phones all the time. But for me, that vibration of a text or social
he's just saying the fact that it exists. I was going to say, wait, that's crazy.
Or Postmates feels like somebody knocking at my window, trying to distract me and get me to stop reading. Over the next 10 days, I started to go about my everyday life pretty naturally without any major issues. I could go for walks by myself or with my brother and give 100% of my attention. I did my chores in my free time without my AirPods, sometimes in silence or with a vinyl, maybe a podcast on my PS5 on occasion, but I didn't crave it. I was working on a video for the other channel I run with my brother, and I found myself procrastinating less, enjoying work more. Everything just started to feel normal. It's not like I shut out all of the internet either. I still followed the news and check social media on occasion.
Chad, do you guys know what these wires are? Chad, type 1 if you know what these 3 wires represent. Type 2 if you don't know what they represent. Oh, thank God. Okay, we're not that fucked here.
I shut out all of the internet either. I still followed the news and checked social media on occasion, but it didn't follow me in my pocket when I stepped away. The swirling mass.
Those aren't old. Oh yeah? What's that taste like?
Either. I still followed the news,
the screen,
and social media on occasion.
What does it taste like?
It didn't follow me in my pocket when I stepped away. The swirling mass in the back of my brain that the internet seems to occupy had completely severed, and I didn't miss it. I was embarrassed at the thought of how often in the past I would check my phone, especially when I wasn't really waiting on anything. Times where I felt
I want to check my phone right now.
When I wanted to fill the silence. And the worst of all, involuntarily checking.
Not everyone licks TV screens, Flats? Yes, they did. Every kid has licked a TV screen at least a single time.
Becoming a normie. And
sorry, hang on. Every kid from my age, maybe, because they had a taste. LED screens of today don't have a taste. Well, I guess I haven't, I guess I could go test that theory. I don't think they do, though. But those had a taste. And so you'd have your friends say, or your brother say, or something. Be like, oh, tastes kind of funny. You should try it.
I liked it. I read books.
Time to test.
I sat in silence. I enjoyed the eclipse and didn't text it to anyone. I spent an hour on a rainy night just watching the rain fall, enjoying the sounds of drops hitting the pavement. I mean, what the heck?
TVs of today don't make the sound when you turn it on. Exactly. Exactly.
The next morning, I thought, surely the rain washed away the bird shit, right?
The sound.
Huh, guess not. Okay, well, maybe it'll go away on its own, or maybe I should clean it, but I'll get to it later, or maybe it'll go away. Navigating the world without the help of a cell phone made it seem smaller, less intimidating. I found myself asking strangers for help a little more and was less anxious when they spoke to me. There was only one time where I checked my texts on the MacBook, and after that I decided I didn't even need it. Man, I bought those C batteries for nothing. After just a half of a month without my iPhone, I started to have the thought, uh-oh, I don't know if I want this thing back in my life anymore. And moving into the next week, I continued to feel the same way. I didn't want the experiment to end after 30 days and was looking for some advice when I realized I knew just who to ask. I wasn't the only person who had tried out different lifestyles for a video. So I decided I would try to get some answers from an expert.
Zach from the Try Guys. Hey, hold this. Zach, I have a question.
Eddie?
Yeah.
Eddie?
Have you ever tried something for a video that you liked so much that you wanted to keep trying it after the video was done?
What are you doing in my house?
Just answer the question, man. Pottery was cool. Okay. Thank you.
Is that actually...
Lock the door.
About halfway
Is that
through
actually
the month,
them?
I had mostly adapted to life without the phone, but I wondered how other people would adapt to me. I had sort of assumed when it came to others,
That's
the
so
landline
funny.
would be a fun novelty. People would give me a call or two within the first week, and then just wait for me to get my phone back so we could go back to normal. But to my surprise, that hasn't been the case at all.
Hi, Eddie. It's Mom.
Hey, Eddie. It's Jarvis. What a wonderful voicemail you got there. It's time to walk. Call me back.
Eddie, we're on our way. You better get ready. We're on our way.
Yay. You say
Eddie. Woo. All right, bye.
Hey, Eddie. How you doing? Big dog. Hey, this is Zach. Mr. Burback. Need to reach you. I hope it's going well. I hope you haven't gotten lost because of lack of Google Maps. Hey, Eddie. This is your friend Ash.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was given this number for. If I have an incorrect number, please let me know.
Happy Thursday. Talk to you soon. We were trying to reach you to do that dinner that we talked
So
about.
A
nostalgic.
big part of why I kept my phone clutched to my chest for years was because I felt like I needed to be on call for people I know 24/7.
Holy
I had
shit.
feared that this experiment would annoy people, that it would make me more work. But it turns out everyone I asked said it was a breath of fresh air. They liked calling, they liked leaving messages and not having to worry about texting back. And I like coming home to voicemails. I like picking up and hanging up the phone. When I say bye, I get to end the call with emotion and a physical feeling. Instead of the new reality I've gotten used to where you say goodbye, there's an awkward pause, and then the 1 hour and 30-minute takedown on the Beast games you were watching begins to play again. Personally, with a smartphone, I am way more likely to accidentally leave a text unanswered, to cancel or delay plans when I'm not feeling up to
true.
it. With the landline, though, I have to talk to people. When I'm feeling like I don't want to leave the house, hearing the voice of a friend excited to hang out washes that away, while a text about plans feels
Flats, it feels like I'm watching a long cutscene from Cyberpunk talking about the past before cyberware. I don't know how that makes me feel, but not good.
like
Pneumonia,
work
I think,
to
like
me.
11 months.
I'm realizing
Shit.
that there are a bunch of small antisocial behaviors.
See, he's got the fucking giant ass camcorder. When he was on the bus and going to the bar, this was tucked in his pocket. That thing is huge.
Behaviors that I believed were becoming part of my personality, but is more so my relationship with a computer in my pocket that I'm addicted to. However, the landline isn't all fun calls from friends and family. There is an aspect to it that has been driving me fucking crazy over the last
is it
2
the
weeks.
telemarketers?
Spam calls.
Yeah.
Spam calls and scammers are hitting my line more than anyone else. During
Yep.
business hours of the week, these assholes are calling me sometimes 30 to 40 times a day. But when the
Yep.
landline is your gateway to the outside world and so
Dude, my grandma, when my grandma was still had her house and was around, her phone would ring at least 6 times every time I'd visit. And very rarely was it actually someone she wanted to talk to. And so I would actually answer the call more often. You would actually be very surprised how fast they would all hit their brakes. Like it would always be like some scammer or some shit. And it was like, I don't have an old man voice, you know, or like, hello, who's that? You know, they're like, hi, this is, I'm like, no, not interested. And they go, okay. And they just like hang up immediately. They kind of just like figured it out. But yeah.
social life, you have to get up and check who's calling when it's ringing. So hundreds of times over the last 2 weeks, I've jogged over to my landline just to see that it's spam.
Yeah, this is Eddie. How are you? Doing good?
Sorry, was your name Eddie or is my name?
I
My name is Eddie.
My name's Eddie as well.
No, your name is not Eddie.
It's not?
I get a call again, and it's more spam.
You're paying high rates on your electricity bill, and what we are doing is showing people a free, no-obligation consultation and demonstration with our solar program.
Solar sales.
Stating consequences
If you know, you know.
for you.
This call is regarding your Medicare, as you already have Medicare Parts A and B both.
So why you're lying to me? Your name is Eddie.
Our records show you may owe over $10,000 in unpaid tax debt.
This could result in liens on your property.
Possibility for a hardship elimination.
Message deleted. Message deleted.
God, this is actual PTSD.
fuck?
Message deleted.
Do people actually get solar panels? Dude, solar panels are actually really cool. Like, unironically, solar panels are cool. Like, whenever I get a house, I would love to have solar panels. Unironically. Do I want to deal with solar panel salesmen and the all shit that goes with it and also paying for it? No. Are they cool as shit? Yes.
End of messages.
So yes, other than the spam calls, this has so far been a mostly peaceful growth experience for me. Getting rid of my phone has been the best thing I've done all year, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about all the little ways that not having a phone has pissed me off. 1. I can't use certain apps that require a mobile phone number. I got invited to a party and had to find out about it through someone else because I can't log into my Partiful. Partyful?
What the f is Partiful?
Partyful is the main way a lot of people I know send invites to parties now. And when you're throwing a party and someone ignores an invite,
does nobody want to hang out with me? I've never heard of this in my entire life. Wait, do people not want to hang out with me? I just self-snitch? Oh, I saw a few people in chat who actually do, I definitely know have lives, said the same thing of like, what? What is this? Okay, so I'm good.
You're not
We're
going to
good.
call them and ask them if they got it. Of course they got it. They have a smartphone. So if I know you and I missed your birthday, blame it on the safe, not me. 2. There are a few useful tools on the iPhone that don't involve the internet, like tool belt type tools. Yesterday, I was hanging frames on my wall and I couldn't use the level on my phone. Last week, the power went out and I realized just how much I had gotten used to having a flashlight on me.
Okay, this is a big one.
3. I miss having a camera on me always. I love recording a little video of a squirrel or grabbing a funny photo to text someone. I've had to make peace with the fact that sometimes I've just got to enjoy a sunset instead of snapping it and sharing.
Maybe a hot take. I don't have that desire at all. I've tried to make vlog content for you guys and I fail at it every fucking time because I don't care to take a video of something. I'm way more of an in the moment type person. And then I go later on, oh, that would have been nice to record. Like, I've gone to dinner with many people over my years, other creators and people like that. And I remember going with CarQ specifically, and I don't mind throwing him under the bus. And CarQ and me went one time in LA, and he would take photos of everything. I think it was to send to Kat. I don't think he actually really posted much, but he would always make sure to take photos of everything. CarQ records everything. Exactly. CarQ's very good at vlogging. He's very, very good at it. He's done a lot of the IRL content where you ask people questions and he does like the bring people in stuff. He's very good at it. But I remember looking at him, I go, this is why I can't do what you're doing. Like, I just don't think about it. Like, the food comes out and it looks fantastic and I want to take a bite. I don't want to go, ooh, where's my phone? Let's take a photo. Take a photo from this angle. Take one here. Let me see what you got. Let's do a whole spread. I'm like, I want a bite. Give me now.
On one hand, sure, it gives me a nice moment to take in and appreciate what's in front of me. But on the other hand, I can't use it as a moment to connect with someone, so it's 50-50. 4. Some friends are texters, some are callers. Friends that are texters have not really called
phone
my landline.
eats first.
They may have
Okay.
died. 5. Weather app. No weather app unless check computer. Don't know how hot it is. 6. I'm using my computer way more often for
what's it called? TV. Weatherman.
sure. Sometimes I'll still waste time on it like I do my phone, but it feels much more manageable when I can walk away. And lastly, 7, I'm hearing... Hold up. Sorry, I thought I heard my phone ringing. Everyone knows about the phantom vibration you occasionally feel in your pocket when your phone is sitting there. That has disappeared for me. But I am now hearing phantom ringing in songs, in movies. Any similar tone has me perking my little ears up to check. But how does that all stack against crippling anxiety from social media and ruining my attention
Definitely
span?
worse.
Well,
It's
like
gotta be
I
worse.
said, I didn't have a level on me, so... One of the things I've enjoyed over the last few months is keeping up with current TV, mainly White Lotus, Severance, and a little bit of Formula One for all my Max Verstappen heads out there. And that part of my life was mostly unchanged, except I heard discourse about the shows through my friends' opinions and what they'd seen online. TV shows, politics, internet drama, basically everything that I'm algorithmically served are constantly placing people online into in-groups and out-groups. Like, if you disagree about a White Lotus episode in person, you're just hearing another perspective. But when a group of people have a different opinion on Twitter, it feels like large swaths of strangers are not like you over a micro diversion of an opinion about a show from Ned Schneebly.
Shut up! Shut up! You both just cut it out for 1 second.
Even though I was aware.
The greatest example of touch grass of all time. The greatest example of all time. Most people don't give a fuck outside of Twitter for a lot of things. They just don't care. They just don't fucking care. And realize, and not falling into that chasm or that microchasm of realizing like you are in the minority. You have a lot of people around you, so you feel like you're not in the minority, but you are absolutely by far in the minority, and grounding yourself in that is very difficult to do.
Time in the real world and away from my phone had me connecting with people in a much more positive light. Again, still paying attention to the news, so not saying
Jesus
everything
Christ.
far from it. But not getting mad at invisible strangers and bots 1,000 times a day had me feeling a way I didn't in a long time. And during my final week, Chrissy was out of town cat sitting, which made me pretty unsure of how my final days alone would go. More recently, when I find myself alone in my apartment for an extended period of time, I've been increasingly frustrated with how much I use my phone, especially before bed. Sometimes internally screaming that I should put it down, but scrolling through TikTok for some reason. What's it gonna give me?
Admittedly, I do this. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten to a point where I go, I don't want to look at this anymore. Close out of it. I go, well, let me check this other app really quick and then I'll be done. I close that last one. I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then I instinctively accidentally opened the original. And I went, shit, why did I do this? Just, I can't stop. Can't stop. The only thing that stops me now is the time of day, because it hits a certain point and I go, oh, it's this time. I got to go to bed if I actually want to be up tomorrow. And that's my shutoff. If that shutoff didn't exist, it would just keep going until I like passed out and went to bed.
Me. But during this week, I got to do so much more regular chilling. Without my screen time, I watched more movies, read more books, exercise, cleaned, all shit that I normally do, but none of it was rushed because after work, I didn't waste a bunch of time on my phone. Also, speaking of chilling, I watched YouTube only on the TV for the last month and it ruled. Shout out to everyone who watches YouTube on the TV. I am thinking of you when I'm making videos. I appreciate you. If you're watching on something else, that's fine too. Also, shout out to laptop on a bed or laptop on a table. I can't hate on you for that. So I think it's safe to say that my attention span has been completely rewired over the month. But without the magic of texting...
If you're a YouTube on TV, type 1. If you're a YouTube on not TV, type 2. Oh wait, if you're on the TV, you actually can't type anything.
I was communicating with people way less.
I was trying to... Twitch chat's answering. I was talking to YouTube chat because I'm streaming on the YouTubes too. I forgot. They actually can't answer the question.
It was quiet by myself, and I couldn't mask it with a podcast or music to keep me company.
Wow, actually, there is a lot of ones. I can't tell if you guys are just trolling or not, though, on the YouTube side. But, yeah, sorry.
Quiet by myself, and I couldn't mask texting. I was videos. I appreciate you. If you're watching on something else, that's fine, too. Also, shout out to laptop
I'm more of
on
a
a
phone
bed or laptop on a
YouTube
table.
person.
I can't hate on you for that. So I think it's safe to say that my attention span has been completely rewired over the month. But without the magic of texting, I was communicating with people way less. It was quiet by myself, and I couldn't mask it with a podcast or music to keep me company 24/7. So I needed to get out of the apartment.
This would drive me crazy because I have a very slight amount of tinnitus, to the point where as long as there's any noise at all, I got nothing. But if it's dead silence, the ringing, oh my fucking God, it'll drive me crazy. I almost never have to deal with it because I got a fan on. I can hear the central air going, wind outside, people walking in the apartment, anything. But dead silence.
Apartment.
Friday, 2:45 p.m.
Hey, little man. It's Katie. I'm calling to let you know that we're going bowling at 9 p.m. Be there. See you then, big dog.
This time when I took the bus, I did write down my directions just in case, but I've been retaining information for a full month without relying on my phone, so I just didn't look. I know where I'm going. And after arriving at the bowling alley, it was time to bowl.
And yes, please.
Yeah, okay, just press the thing, yeah.
What followed was the greatest bowling I've ever seen. Strike after strike, nobody could be stopped. They almost kicked us out because they thought we were like cheating or something. Something about magnets. But we were using the balls that were there. Honestly, I'm like freaked out with how many we did. That's got to be connected to my not having my phone or something in some way, right? I don't know.
Using the toddler helper thing and then throwing a gutter ball has got to be top 5 worst things I've seen.
Yeah. Oh, you're dancing. Yeah, keep going.
Can you do it again? I don't think you had a recording. Yeah, can you do more? That's just like not enough.
Like backflip? Yeah. Backflip. No.
Suddenly, after some delicious food
When you go to the club and you only know one dance move.
and a lot of drinks, it was 2 a.m. Everyone was nice enough to see me off at the bus stop, but I told them I was fine waiting alone. Then it was just me and Los Angeles at 2 in the morning.
The buses are running that late? Damn. I don't remember the buses running that late. Was that a roach? Road roach?
With only 1 day left, I decided it was time to dust off an old aspect of my childhood and put it to the test as an adult. When I was a kid, I saw the takeover of portable GPSs for driving. At first, they were purchasable on their own, then a feature on my rich friend's dad's car.
Yeah, my mom had one of those where it was like, she took it out of the glove box. It was in its own separate container. You had to like plug it into the fucking car, unlock it, then reset it every single time. Then you'd have to like clip it into the windshield. It would take about 3 minutes to start. And then you'd have to like, you'd have things that were saved and favorited, but if you had to type it in, it was like, boop, beep, click, beep, click, beep. And that's how the delay between it would like, you hit the touch screen and it would actually appear. And then it would be, then it's done, you hit enter, you're like, recalculating. Drive 3.4 miles and then turn left. Like,
What? You thought he was the breadwinner? Well, it was actually my friend's mom who bought the car. Sounds like it's time to look inward about what we assume, I think. But before the GPS eventually arrived in every pocket in America,
as you're going, we'll be monitoring the traffic. We'll give you your ETA. If the traffic slows down in front of you, we'll update your ETA, and then we'll start looking to reroute you around it to find a faster route. And if we do, we'll offer it to you.
There was a website that would plan your route to print so you could take it with you on your drive. That website was Mapquest.com. Tony and I were going to follow Mapquest to Huntington Gardens and enjoy my final day of
Flats, do you remember Mapquest?
While the flowers were in bloom. So I routed our trip, sent my PDF to Staples, walked over.
You had to print it out. Print out the Mapquest.
I really should have bought a printer for this.
See, you guys said earlier when I talked about needing a printer and how annoying it would be to do this because if you didn't have a printer, and you guys were like, why would you need a printer? You could just go to the movie theater, then swipe your credit card. And I was like, damn, I didn't know that was a thing. But dude, when I was a kid, having a printer was a necessity. You had to have a printer. If you didn't have a printer at home, you were fucking cooked, right? Now I'm an adult, and I thought I'd always need to have a printer, and I thought I'd always have to have it stocked with ink. It was one of the most annoying things that we had to do as a household, is have a printer stocked with ink, both color and black and white, and I thought that would be my entire adult life, is filling the stupid printer with ink, and I don't even have one now.
You ready?
Hold on.
Do public libraries have printers? Yes, but then you'd have to either A, go to the public library every single time you need something printed, and B, have a library card if you didn't have one.
You good?
Yeah.
Color, were you rich? No, but like, you still had to have it stocked for that. Every once in a while, you actually needed something printed off in color.
Can't use your... We're doing Mapquest.
What do you mean?
Well, you just can't use it. I'm doing like a no phone thing.
But I want to listen to music.
Or like, what if you ran out of black and white ink, right? If you run out of black and white ink, but you need to print something off for school tomorrow, you just change the color to like a color, and then you print off the document in the color. That way, you can still turn in your essay.
I can enjoy my company for once, the sound of my voice. So just like traveling by bus, reading, prolonged silence, going to the movies, and taking landline calls, using Mapquest is way easier and less daunting than I thought. Dude, you just pay attention to the street signs and use your brain like 2% more. But we messed up a little bit. So we were on Temple Street, and we were supposed to get on Silver Lake Boulevard. Now, it said a slight right, and here's the sign. It clearly says that if you go straight, you're on Silver Lake Boulevard. You take a left, you're on Temple Street. But we were kind of talking, and there was a further left, so we were like, that one looks like it's straight enough. So we went left on Temple, but we eventually found Glendale. So we thought we had the directions correct until it said to take a slight right on Fletcher, 0.3 miles.
Old man, I don't think Terry's black and white ink if the paper is white.
From the turn, and 0.3 miles from the turn was Echo Park Lake. And last I checked, the ramp for the 2 is not submerged in Echo Park Lake. Now, if you drive in Los Angeles, you might be thinking, how'd you f that one up? This is like a very famous and commonly known spot for LA driving. Well, Tony and I were deep in discussion about the fact that in our Spy Kids video, we accidentally called Fooglies Flugels. So you can see
Spy Kids, holy fuck, what a throwback.
Then, it was fine. There's street signs for the freeway, so we just kept driving until we saw a sign for the 2. After that, it was smooth sailing. Overall, our mistake made us like 10 minutes late.
A nice park.
You know, there have been a set of questions that I get from people asking about this whole thing that are mostly the same. How are you going to get around? What do you do if you miss a text? What if you get lost? But those questions also come with a set of similar statements. Oh, I bet you'll feel so much better. You'll have so much more time on your hands. I'm so jealous. And that's because at the start of this, I, along with you, probably knew where this would go to a degree. I'm not exposing a problem here that was hidden in the shadows. We all know it. We feel it every day. But those questions that kept me from doing it before didn't turn out to be that daunting.
So before, because I'm assuming he's going to share final thoughts, I feel like even all these quote unquote benefits are not worth like the downsides. I feel like the upsides of modern technology of the phone is so good. Like not having to deal with the scam calls. You can download apps that block scam calls, or a lot of the services like phone providers are constantly fighting against the scam callers, and your number is not as publicly available. Having a GPS in your pocket, having the ability to like for the movie, like just buy movie tickets on the fly and just scan it and you're good to go. Scheduling things, keeping up with friends. Like, dude, sometimes I want to just know what my friends are up to, but I don't want to sit down and have a conversation, right? Like I don't need to have a conversation about, oh, how is everything? Like, they just get a text of like, you know, hey, like, you know, just like in one of my friends is like a firefighter. Like he talked about like some crazy fire that he had the other night and how it was like, you know, he talked about like 2 or 3 things that caused it. Cool. Honestly, cool shit. I like learning about that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, I'll have to make sure I don't do that in the future. But like, it's not enough for a phone call, you know, like little stuff like that. I enjoy being the lurker in a group chat sometimes, you know, like those things are nice. Even if you had the extra time, I feel like if you just had enough discipline, you could probably fight your way through it. So
sure,
let's see what he says.
Occasionally, I did have to rely on someone else's phone for information or a text, but other than that, my life felt so normal. I think we're living in a time where our minds and our attention are such a currency, we need to start working out our brains like a muscle. And yes, that can be writing, reading, navigating, but I think you also need to build your own silence, your own peace. And that peace hurts the money of things keeping you on your phone. So the day will not come where Elon decides you need a break from Twitter for your mental health. There will not be a moment where people stop capitalizing on your anger, joy, sadness for their own profit. It's up to you to rip yourself back into
On a hot take, but I think that particular mindset is a pretty common thing in the Northeast. What
reality as much as you can.
Which thing
and
in
take
particular?
back what is rightfully yours. You. As for me, it was almost time to unlock the safe. I watched the countdown clock creep closer to 0, but instead of relief or confidence, I found myself filled with the same desperation for a solution that made me do this whole thing in the first place. What will my relationship with my phone be like after this?
Oh, I just want to lurk and check in every once in a while? Yeah.
Will
okay.
I delete most of the apps and just use my computer when I need it? Will I lose everything I learned here and be stuck scrolling before bed again? After spending a portion of my youth in a cloud of buzzing noise, I had hoped to step outside of it, to turn around and be shocked at how much it had crept into every corridor of my brain. And that is exactly what happened. But I know that beyond a month-long experiment, it's unrealistic to go back to a world without the phone entirely. The thing is, I've known for years that the way I was beginning to use it was not good for me. I kept telling myself that I'd make a change, and until now, I never truly committed to that. So while I have no idea what my relationship to this thing will be in the future, I do know that it will not be the same as the past. It turns out the only way to stop using your phone too much is to just stop using it too much. It's like bird shit on your bathroom window. You know you should clean it at some point. But hey, it gives you something interesting to look at on the toilet, and you can hope the rain will wash it away or that a crow never dropped a gross load on your window in the first place. But if you really, truly want it to get clean, you're gonna have to roll up your sleeves and do it yourself.
I mean, with enough time, it'll definitely wash away. So, like, just throwing it out there. Wait.
Try Guys. Zach, can I pitch you 3 Try Guys ideas? First one, Keith eats the menu. But like Keith eats a Blu-ray copy of the movie The Menu.
All right, that was actually an insane video. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where maybe I'm crazy, but I would rather have the extra information, even if I know it's not good to have so much information, because like people worry about it, right? Like it's hard not to like worry about like the bajillion amounts of like flashing red lights in your face of like, oh my God, we're because XYZ reason, you know? I'd rather know that the possibility of getting by XYZ reason exists than not know XYZ reason could fuck me, right? I feel like I've hit a point where I'm good enough at filtering it to the point where I want to know it exists, but I won't let it shut me off. You know what I mean? And I feel like the people around me who are ignorant to all of it, even though they're probably happier, are probably worse off, because if that day ever comes where they get blindsided by it, they're not ready for it. I will be, because like I've already processed a lot of it. I'm good to go. And it almost makes you mentally stronger, as dumb as that might sound. You just have to learn how to not let it destroy you. But the way the world is, like sometimes you just get some horrible news, like god awful news, like, oh my God, we're fucked. But then you remember society has been standing for thousands of years now. And it's like, unless bombs are going off in your neighbor, like your country or like wherever you are, you're probably okay. Like that's when shit's really going down. That's when shit's really going to hit the fan. Or like a pandemic where like, oh my God, everybody's getting sick, things are going south. But that's a good example. Would you rather know that something major like that is going to happen a month before it happens? Or would you rather know the day you go to the store and there's no toilet paper left? I'd rather know a month before. That's where I'm at least personally. But it is cool. It's a good video. It's really something that I think that if you use the phone unhealthily, and I probably do, a little check wouldn't probably hurt you. But really good video though. Liked it.